In this video, we're going to show you how to do rear pads and rotors on your Nissan Rogue located on the back side of your vehicle. Let's go ahead and remove that center cap. Just put your fingers behind the cap here and gently tug outward. Using a 21mm socket, loosen and remove the lug nuts. Grab the wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Using a 14mm socket and ratchet, loosen and remove the caliper bolts. When we remove our pins here, the upper pin has this little piece on here, a little sleeve. I want to make sure that goes back in the top. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver, or you can use a small pry bar. I'm going to go in here and just gently put some sideward pressure on here, and this is going to compress that piston just a little bit on our caliper. This is going to allow us to go ahead and slide this off. I'm going to use a tool here to go ahead and support and hang this caliper up and out of the way. Good, remove your brake pads. And when you remove your brake pads here, take note that the inboard pad has the squeak tab on the inside. We're going to use a 17mm wrench to go ahead and loosen these caliper bracket bolts. Ours is pretty rusty, so just going to get that wrench on there and go ahead, break that free. And do the same for the top. Go ahead and remove that bolt and remove that caliper bracket, set that aside. With the caliper bracket removed, we can now pull off our brake rotor and set that aside. Go ahead and take your caliper bracket here and want to pop the sliders out. And we have our rubber boots. Grab those and gently work those off. You want to inspect these here carefully for any tears or splits, anything like that. If they are worn or torn like that, you need to replace these. Ours are in good shape, so these are reusable. Using a bristle brush, go ahead and clean the face here where these slider shims are going to go. Now, if you have scaly rust buildup on here, you want to go ahead and use a flat file, clean that surface. Repeat for the other side. Using some spray solvent, spray some inside the cylinder. We're going to use a small bore brush on our drill. Go ahead and clean this out. And then flush it. You're going to get rid of any old grease. And repeat for the other side. Now I want to go ahead and apply a thin coat of grease to where the sliders are going to be positioned. Take your new sliders here. Go ahead and press those on. Repeat for the other side. Good, clean up both of those boots, and what we're going to do is put some grease inside the cylinder. We don't want a lot, we just want a little bit in there to help those slider pins move. Go ahead and take the boots, pop those on. Go slide that on. Go ahead and take the bracket. Let's go ahead and line that up. I want to go ahead and get both of these bolts started by hand. Then we can go ahead and snug them down. Take your inboard pad that has the squeak tab on it. Line that up and set that in. Then we'll install the outboard pad the same way. Go ahead and grab that caliper. I want to go ahead and compress this piston back into the piston cup. I'm going to go ahead and compress that slowly. And what this does is it allows for us to go ahead and fit new pads in there and have clearance to fit around here. So with that all set, go ahead and line this up. Slide this into place. Now we simply went ahead and took our pin here. The upper pin has that little insulator on it. I'm going to slide that in through the top, through the boot, and into the caliper bracket. Install the lower pin. Once those are in, go ahead and snug them down. Now I'm just going to use my wrench. Snug that down. Torque the caliper bracket to 62 foot-pounds. Tighten down these slide pins to 25 foot-pounds. Now at this point here, you want to go ahead and hop into the vehicle, pump up the brakes. That'll expand the piston and give you some brake tension here on the caliper. Now if your brake rotor came with a rubber plug here, go ahead and pop it out of the original rotor. You can now press that into this port. Ours didn't have it, so ours is now empty. Go ahead and grab that wheel, line that up, slide that into place. Let's go ahead and get all of our lug nuts started by hand. Once these are all on, we'll go ahead and snug them down. Let's go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 80 foot-pounds. Once you have these torqued down, I want to go ahead and install your wheel cap. I want to pay attention to the notch right here. That is where your valve stem is going to go. You're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.